The concept of twin flames is so dangerous. Have you ever heard yourself say, I feel like I've known this person forever. I have never felt a connection like this before. This is karmic. They must be my soulmate. What I've seen is that with twin flames, people normalize and romanticize concepts like emotional volatility, abandonment, disrespect, even emotional hurt or harm, all in the name of spiritual growth, a deeper meaning beyond this reality and dimension. Real connection does not destabilize your nervous system. It doesn't erode your self-worth, and it doesn't ask you to disconnect from yourself in order to connect. It doesn't ask you to abandon yourself in order to connect.
So I think let's discuss what's the difference between spiritual connection and a trauma bond, because there's a clear difference. But in a trauma bond, there's a sense of urgency, there's obsessiveness, there's I'm feeling trapped, I'm feeling stuck, I'm feeling I'm not good enough, I'm feeling disconnected.
Yes.
Most people in a trauma bond, yes, there's moments of connection, but if you look at a relationship in its essence, they actually feel disconnected. They feel disconnected from themselves. And that, in its essence, nothing about that is actually spiritual.
True.
So spirituality is all about consistency. I'm feeling grounded. I'm feeling expansive. You know, so it's also I'm feeling connected to something higher and more than myself. That is,
absolutely,
that creates a spiritual connection. But in a trauma bond, you feel actually disconnected from yourself, and you feel disconnected even in this relationship. So it's not much spirituality in its essence in that.
In that, yes. And one of the most common experiences is that people feel less than.
Most definitely.
So the minute that you have a more than, less than dynamic, you're stepping out of that spiritual connection.
Spiritual connection feels like there's a connectedness, there's an expansion, there's presence. A trauma bond in its essence feels like survival. I'm in survival mode.
Survival mode.
And then you get stuck in your reptilian brain. And in a spirituality, much more connected. I think it's important to remember we exist out of many facets. You know, we're more complex than what we actually realize. We have an inner child, we have different parts of ourselves. We exist out of different parts. And the whole healing journey is to reconnect those parts so that all the parts can come together in order to heal. Carl Jung has a saying. He says that what is unhealed, you will repeat. And you repeat it because you actually, subconsciously, you have a desire to heal it. So that what is unhealed comes through into the surface. And now you go to that relationship and you feel that amazing connection of that person. But the connection is actually a sign of what needs to be healed.
It is also what makes a trauma bond so hard to walk away from, because it doesn't just feel emotional, it actually feels spiritual.
So many times we choose a partner and we feel that amazing chemistry, that amazing spiritual connection, because if we want to heal something. And the beauty is of such a relationship, it can bring amazing healing. It can bring amazing insight. If you use the relationship, if you're out of the trauma bond and you look back and you reflect and you use it, what do I need to learn? What is my patterns? Why do I allow this?
And that's actually quite spiritual. When you do that, to gather your parts and become more whole in yourself is a very spiritual experience. You are not dishonoring the spiritual by leaving a trauma bond. In fact, you are honoring it, because true spiritual growth brings you back in alignment with your body, brings you back in alignment with your boundaries, and brings you back in alignment with your self-respect. And those are 3 things that you do when you leave a trauma bond. Maybe the spiritual growth that you need to get from that relationship comes from leaving it. If you resonated with this message, please subscribe. It's free and it helps to get the message out there so that people can understand why they struggle so much with trauma bond relationships. And see you in the next one.